any custom truck is going to take a time of fine tuning, and with Milo it was only 20 years and I never quite got it right. But with Milo too, we've done Victoria, we've done Fraser, and we've done Land Cruiser Park, and we rolled it in Land Cruiser Park. So now we're looking for reasons as to why that happened. There's three things we're going to be looking at, and one is Richard's already found where the plug had been pierced by a stick, pushed the wires loose, so there was no rear diff lock. The e-locker wasn't functioning. It's simple enough to get it right, but what we're going to do is change the whole system, hardwire, solder up some new wires, take them up into the chassis and then hardwire it. Coat all that. That'll stop that from going wrong. We'll leave enough slack in there so I can cut it if I have to get in there for any reason. Had this problem before. Happens just as much with air lockers, you know. Stick gets under there. There's a lot of room for stuff to muck around under here. But we'll sort that one. The other issue is that the rear end is way too hard. The airbags are just doing their job awesomely, you know. So really that's just spring tuning, suspension tuning. The first thing that'll go is the two load bearers, and probably the first two. Bear in mind these are the half-ton packs from Terrain Tamer, so given that we've got air on there now, air over, we can afford to lose a few springs. And that should soften up the ride under the right circumstances. And then we're going to play with the tray mounts. I want to, it's mounted solid at the moment, or not quite solid, but near enough, you know, bolts through, a little bit of mat. What we're going to look for is two-way mounts, which is like radiator mount bolts, you know, something fairly substantial, but bolt, rubber in the middle, no connection, so that the tray can move on the chassis. We don't want the tray moving around, but we want the chassis to flex just a little bit more up the back. With all those things in mind, we're back in the shed having fun. That's the way it should be. Big trip's coming up too, so we'll hoof into it and hopefully get it all done by Melbourne when we're going to go and play with the Ocker boys in the high country. Yes! 1, 2, 3.
This is trial and error, anyway.
This is all trial and error too, right? It is, mate. And we had 9 leaves in here, including the 2 thick load bearers. Now, for reasons that make a whole lot of sense if you're here, we're going to drop spring number 7 because it's a long, thin one, and it's held in place by a couple of brackets, one of which we're going to pull off. That'll give us a 6-pack that's, yeah, that's 6-pack, just like me. That'll give us a 6, shut up, stop laughing. That'll give us a 6-pack that's beautifully sort of contoured and mounted at both ends very nicely. And then we're going to put just one, the short load bearer, in at the bottom. Will it work? Will it work? Have I just clobbered another dog with a leaf spring? We'll find out. And it's no big deal if we have to do it again. Cool. See, this little load bearer, it doesn't need any sideways support either end because the U-bolts are going to hold it in. It's not a very long spring, so that might give us what we need.
There you go.
Righto, I'll just get some nuts on. I just got to say this because I can't help it, but this is what you get when you replace things with Terrain Tamer stuff. You know, all this gear's new, and it just makes our job so much easier because it's quality gear. You know, the nuts are long, they protect the springs, they protect the thread on the U-bolts. Just well thought out gear. If you're listening, Alan, I know you had nothing to do with that, someone else did it. That'll get him. I'll do the rest by hand, I think. You know, I remember doing this once, and I took about, the first time I did it with Milo, took about 5 springs out, let it down, put it on the ground. Bloody thing sat there exactly the same height. I thought, this is marvellous. Then I went round a corner, no sway bar. Ooh, found the limits. For the benefit of you guys who are thinking about doing this, you would have noticed that I'm only using the air tool to get them on and off quickly, I'm tensioning it by hand. That way I can get roughly the same tension on all of them. And you would have also noticed that somewhere in the process there, once I had everything cinched down, I checked that the U-bolts were sitting vertical over the axle. It's very easy to do this. Tighten it up, have a U-bolt slightly skew if. First time it does a bit of a twist, the nuts come loose eventually. And when it comes to loose nuts, you're talking to the expert. This is copperese. I always use a little bit of this on all the bolts under here because this is where things get rusty and over tightened, and you know, there's a fair chance we've got to rip this to bits sometime on the track. This will just make it really easy. You are possibly the dumbest dog I've ever had. I like you, but you're a nong. You all right, mate?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just grease that. It's looking a bit gnarly. Whoa, he's got it.
I've just about got it.
I got this end. I got him. No, I haven't. Oh, there you go. You want to do that side?
Yeah.
We're just giving the threads a bit of a clean. Because, of course, that's where the mud sits, isn't it? So that'll fix it. You want me to do this side?
Yeah, go on.
Cool. Come on, Blue Dog. You're a big airbag all on your own, aren't you? Hey? This is the moment of truth. See what happens with only a handful of leaves. There she goes. Still going. It's not a whole lot different, is it? And it's going to be a whole lot softer, and we can control it better with the airbags now. Geez, Richard, that's the last time we let you have pies for lunch.
I tell you what, it's going down faster with me standing on it.
Oh, yeah, of course it is, mate. Yeah. Go and take it for a drive. That'll be the best way.
Yep.
Come for a spin, man.
Give it a wobble.
A wobble? Oh, it's heaps softer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. And that's with 30 pounds. I don't think it needs that much. We'll find out. Oh, mate, you can feel it straight away. I just hit a bump. Yeah. Ah. Now we're airbagging. Here's a good bump. Oh, like luxury.
So much better.
I'm going to let some air out. Okay, that's about 20 psi, and it's riding like a Rolls Royce. Well, no, maybe not quite a Rolls Royce, but you know.
Oh, it's not far off.
It's not far off. God, gee, that's made a difference. Oh, now I can revel in the luxury comfort of all the other 40 Series features. You know what? I reckon that's the best couple of hours we've spent on the truck so far.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. Okay, now there's a pothole here. Barely noticed it. Got a bit of ripple right here. Ha 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 ha. Unreal. Well, that's major. That's major, that is. I suppose we'll have to wait till we go seriously off-road to give it the big trial. But so far, wow, what a difference. Very happy. Thank you, Airbag Man. Thank you, Terrain Tamer. Oh, I'll even say thank you, Richard. What the hell? Milo 2, brought to you by the best names in the business and a whole bunch of my mates helping out.